It's the largest unfinished Catholic structure in the entire world. But is it wheelchair accessible? In this video, I am here to tell you what is and what is not accessible when it comes to entering and exiting the Sagrada Familia. Let's get into it. There are no words that can describe the Sagrada Familia. Massive in all of its glory, it is chaotic in the best way. And when I visited the church back in 2019, the outside, so the three facades, the Glory facade, the Passion facade, and the OG original Nativity facade. And these were specifically designed to be in different styles, showcasing Gaudi's imaginative and structural creativity. And it is nothing short of magnificent. When you walk up to that church, it's just magnificent to look at. More than just a piece of history, it feels like history itself. And I know that sounds weird to say, but I think it is the very definition of what you would think something that is magnificent should look like. I'm so happy that I can share this with you and get into more detail on how you can access this magnificent structure. Antoni Gaudi was known for his maximalist approach to architecture. Known as an architect, designer, and artist, Antoni Gaudi is most commonly known for his work at the Sagrada Familia. First, you are going to want to buy your tickets in advance. Buy them online at the official Sagrada Familia website. From there, you're going to have two options. One is an audio guide self-tour, and one is a guide with a person and a group. And I personally prefer the one with the audio guide. Yeah, it was a wonderful self-paced audio guide. It was definitely one of the best audio guides that I've ever had. I've been to 30 different countries and I've explored a lot of areas. I've listened to a lot of audio guides, and this one was definitely high quality, and I would definitely recommend the self-paced audio guide. Not only that it might be more availability in terms of having it explained in your own native language, but also when it came to the person guides that were leading small group tours, I noticed that they were moving relatively fast throughout the church, only spending 45 minutes to an hour inside the church at most. As it explained, take it at your own pace and just enjoy your experience. Another thing to note is that when you get your ticket shows the specific day and time that you are allowed to enter. And the reason why you have to go at a certain time and day is mostly for traffic flow, allowing people to enter and exit the Sagrada Familia in a safe fashion. So it's mostly for crowd control. And the way that this is done actually enhances the viewer's experience, because when you see the entrance of this basilica and you just look at the architecture, it's not a rushed time. You're not hurried in a way that you might feel hurried when you visit other churches or other basilicas. So it gives not only the security peace of mind, but it also gives the guest the luxury of, taking their time and really absorbing the basilicas. When it is your turn to enter, you're going to show the security guard your ticket, and they will most likely direct you to the Group B station. Here, you will go through a security check, and the lines are wide enough for those using mobility devices. After the security check, you're going to be led to an elevator that will lead you to the first floor of the basilica. Other individuals will be entering the basilica through a staircase, but you will have an elevator that will lead you to the entrance. And this elevator will drop you off at the outside of the Sagrada Familia, so you will still have that chance to explore all the facades and see the different architecture styles, designs, and the outside of the church is definitely one of the biggest pieces in terms of storytelling and just the thought, effort, and beauty of the church. You know, you want to take your time and enjoy and learn and really experience the outside of the church as well as the inside of the church. The outside of the La Sagrada Familia, it tells the Christian biblical story of Jesus Christ. So each facade tells a portion of that story. There is the Nativity facade, the Passion facade, and the Resurrection facade. So the birth, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ according to Christianity. And it's beautiful. It is like you are moving through a time, and you can either focus on a specific portion of the Nativity, or you can move throughout the Nativity and see the broader story of everything happening almost all at once. And then you can move to the different facades and see that story, and everything is happening just, all at once. And it feels like organized chaos in the best way. Enter through the Nativity facade, which is actually one of the oldest facades of the Sagrada Familia, which is something that I found interesting in terms of accessibility. But when you walk in, you come from this place of maximalist design, like we talked about, and then you enter in, and the design and architecture, it still has that geometry, shape, and feel, but now it's more ethereal, and it feels like you're walking through a concrete forest. And this was definitely intentional by Gaudi. Gaudi was very inspired by nature and felt connected by God through nature. And so he wanted it to feel like you are walking through a forest. And each pillar represents a tree, and when you just look at these pillars, you're looking up these tall concrete trees, and you see the branches and you see the lights, and it is what you'd think a magical forest would look like. And then on top of that, you are greeted with just this absorbent amount of light and color, and it is like the light itself is hugging you and embracing you. It is very much an experience that, I think everyone should be able to see, because there is no amount of words that I can put that can bring this church to its glory. It's just something that you have to experience in person. And Gaudi, he wanted to respect nature and what he believed to be God's design. So he made the Sagrada Familia 1 meter smaller than the tallest hill in Barcelona. So he wanted to respect God's creation, and personally, I believe he did. I can't believe that he managed to invoke the feeling of walking through nature, but he did. And again, with that theme of time, when you walk in and you just, or roll in, when you walk or roll in, you're just, like I said, you're greeted by this light, and like on the left side is the sunrise, center is midday, and then the right is the sunset, and it's like you're experiencing all aspects of the day all at once, and it's just beautiful. Time is going by, but also being still at the very same time. So that is definitely an awe-inspiring experience. You can also walk or roll around the rest of the floor, and you'll see a replica of the shrine, and there was an artist that made a 3D sculpture of the individual that is in the shrine, which most Christians believe to be Jesus, and that was also a marvelous structure. Literally everything that you lay your eyes upon, you don't want to look away, and you want to learn more from it. I've never this might be a little bit of a self-report, but I never wanted to leave this church, and I usually am very keen on finding where the exit is to some churches, but this church, I felt like I didn't want to leave, and yeah, it was so magnificent and beautiful. One thing to keep in mind, though, is that unfortunately the pillars, they do have an elevator, but they are not wheelchair accessible. So there's an elevator that leads to the pillars, but the pillars themselves are not accessible for those with mobility difficulties. It's literally hundreds of steps to the top. It's very narrow, and I would imagine that it's very crowded, and I was strongly advised not to go. And I can't say on whether or not that is something that you might be able to do. You know your own body and your own limitations better than I do, obviously. But in my personal opinion, even if you are a mobility wheelchair user like myself, meaning that you can walk short distances and go up some steps, this is not a mobility accessible experience, unfortunately. But the main floor of the church is wheelchair accessible, and like I said, you're going to be so busy looking at different architectural design and different elements of the church that time is going to fly by so fast that you almost won't mind missing the pillars. Once your time frame is up, you're going to exit this facade, and then there is a steep but manageable ramp that will lead you to the main entrance to the street. And then there you go. You have successfully entered and exit the Sagrada Familia. There are some things that you still want to keep in mind. That is, there is a dress code, so I would recommend wearing clothing that covers your shoulders and knees. And there's no hats inside, so make sure that you are wearing an outfit that follows those rules. For those with disabilities, you might qualify to get your ticket refunded. This doesn't always apply to travelers outside of Europe. It kind of depends on each establishment. For me, I usually just show my blue placard, my blue disabled wheelchair placard, a documentation from a doctor, signed doctor, that says my official diagnosis, and I usually get a discounted ticket, or my ticket is completely free plus another person. And unfortunately, if you're not a European citizen, this accommodation will not be always guaranteed to you. That is all you need to know to enter and exit Sagrada Familia. And that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. Here is another video that you might be interested in on how to get into St. Peter's Basilica. And if you found this video informative, please give it a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a green heart in the comments below, and that way I'll know that you watched it to the very end. I hope to see you soon, but until next time, enjoy your journey, traveler.